Hi folks, this is your MWIS Winter Planner as we look at conditions into the weekend and further ahead. We've got a cold spell of weather that will continue over the days ahead and through the weekend. This is the temperature anomaly chart for 5 days forwards through to Sunday night, and values are a good few degrees below the seasonal averages for late November into the start of December, so a distinctly chilly wintry pattern is around. Do we have any snow to play with? Well, yes, we have some fresh accumulations developing through these next few days. This chart shows you the situation on Wednesday morning, and it's northeastern parts of Scotland over the Cairngorms where the greatest amounts of lying snow are to be found, and it's those areas that very much will see the greatest fresh depths in the days ahead. The Northwest Highlands too, in the far north in particular, will see some snowfalls, and areas into the borders, the Cheviots, and the eastern side of the Pennines too we'll see these accumulations develop. This takes you on into Thursday, and the map just starting to fill in somewhat. Notice even toward the southwest of England there's the scope for some snowfalls over the high ground there. Take things through into Friday across the Pennines, into the borders, the Cheviots, the eastern half of the Highlands, and up toward the far north, still the main focus for snow. Accumulations on the ground could well be towards 20 centimetres then across some areas of the Cairngorms and northern regions in particular, areas elsewhere getting a dusting and a covering with just a few centimetres generally to play with. That's the situation by Saturday daytime. The scope for a few showers of snow coming on to the Welsh mountains from the west by this stage. Bit of uncertainty on that one, but do be aware of that. And as we go into Sunday, again, that may just extend a bit further across Wales. But basically, all the while, it's those northern and eastern districts that has the greatest likelihood of snow on the ground. Away from that, the ground will be widely frozen with some ice and some rime ice, so do be prepared for some tricky conditions higher up, but don't expect much snow if you're across the western portions of Scotland or even into the Lake District. The total precipitation chart does back up that similar sort of story, where we have those greater amounts expected on those northern and eastern districts, a few showers getting into West Wales as well, but really dry across the Western Highlands through the southwest of Scotland into the Cumbrian Fells and down to the South Pennines as well. Not too much, if anything, showing up on that chart there. This chart shows you the freezing level, and most terrain is frozen just near to western coasts in Scotland, part frozen really up to around 500 or 600 metres in West Wales on Wednesday. That value is maybe a tad higher. But overall, it's a very low freezing level, some partial thawing on the lowest sunlit slopes, but otherwise it's terrain widely frozen. This takes you through into Friday, and we stay very low. Early returns to frost as soon as the sun goes down, and that story stays the same over the weekend. These charts are just what you want to see for a good, cold, wintry weekend. Terrain remaining extensively frozen, no incursions of milder air getting in. Some very low overnight temperatures then. This is a suggestion at least for Saturday morning, and many nights ahead we'll see values below -5 to -8, but there's very much potential for seeing some lows down below -10, especially in Highland Glens, and a few spots into the borders, maybe North Pennines as well, could see those sorts of values. The model charts have one or two spots that even a -13, and if that's what's on the models, there will be a few glens that do have that scope for dipping -15 or below in the Highlands, especially over some snow cover. So some very cold nights, and that naturally would lead to some very cold days where many of the glens would stay sub-zero. Maxima could be a good few degrees below freezing. Your synoptic charts for the days ahead are relatively straightforward then, with showers of snow coming in from the northeast. We have just a small occluded front coming into northeast Scotland through the day on Wednesday, and I think particularly the afternoon into the evening, some more persistent, steadier snowfalls could well get in to those northeastern regions, flurries passing further southwards. Some mist and fog patches for mid and east Wales in the morning, otherwise a good amount of sunshine for many regions from western Scotland southwards. Quite blustery across northern and eastern parts of the Highlands, gusty too around the west coast in places, lighter winds further south. It will be sub-zero on the top, so do be prepared for that significant wind chill, especially in the north. Stays rather breezy across the tops on Thursday as well, again with some snow showers feeding into northeast Scotland, one or two running down the west coast towards Skye. Largely dry for central western Scotland southwards. The risk of a few flurries though coming into the Pennines. Northern eastern parts of the Pennines could well see some more frequent snow showers getting into the borders as well. 1 or 2 snow flurries into Wales, but the area of low pressure further south is now looking that bit further south, so the risk of any more substantial snow for Wales does appear to have eased. All becoming a very slack pressure pattern later in the week. Low pressure mainly toward the south, just areas of showers mostly around coastal districts drifting around quite slowly. Many inland areas largely dry with some sunshine. A few patchy cloud banks may just come and go around some of the tops and the corries. Otherwise, excellent visibility will be around. Still got something of an easterly breeze across England and Wales, and that might be an east or northeasterly component across Scotland too, but mostly light speeds. Temperatures then are still very low. Not too much changes really into the weekend. We've got a slack pressure pattern with showers again, mostly near to coastal fringes with some snow and some soft hail maybe in those at times. Some just running into West Wales if that trough just pushes in from the Irish Sea. But for most it's a good wintry mountain weekend with terrain frozen, light winds, sunshine, a few mist and fog patches maybe just around some lower slopes, hanging around some of the corries in places. But it's a fine story with light winds and very low temperatures. All very similar into Sunday, so it does look pretty good throughout the weekend for enjoying some winter conditions. Not too much wind, again some mist and fog patches and 1 or 2 coastal snow showers. The outlook into next week does maintain chilly conditions, at least early in the week. There's quite a bit of uncertainty the further into the week we go. It may be that temperatures are just starting to lift gradually, so expect some slow changes to develop. I think still mostly dry for many places with just a few showers around the coast, but as the week goes on that risk of some precipitation encroaching in from the west just as fronts try and push in from the Atlantic. That could give some snowfalls first as they run in some chillier air, but temperatures then gradually tending to lift. It is very sketchy how that pattern does evolve in the middle of the week. We have areas of low pressure over the Atlantic, then we've got fairly high pressure around across us to start the week, so an ongoing similar story for a day or so, but that just looks like a strengthening southwesterly wind developing as we head into the middle of the week, so some frontal systems trying to push in the potential for a deeper centre of low pressure, but this is a good week or 10 days away on the computer models. Much could yet change with that, but there is just that hint of a change developing towards the end of that week at least. So if you're wanting a good winter weekend, think about this weekend. The following weekend could be a bit more shaky. Low pressure showing signs of being toward the northwest then as we go through the middle part of the month. High pressure still around Scandinavia, and it wouldn't take a lot to block out the progress of those Atlantic lows. So much still to play for in the middle of the month, but I do think we have at least some pushes of milder air come in for a while. The projections onwards towards the Christmas period suggest that high pressure stays quite strong from Scandinavia through towards Greenland and the north of Iceland. Lower pressure is toward the south. So again, we're trying to still pull some of those colder easterly types of weather patterns in. Running a few frontal systems into those from the southwest could produce some snowfalls. So there may be some interest again in some wintry conditions and the prospects for something colder coming back again in the second half of the month. Plenty to watch then further ahead. In the short term, it's very much winter on the mountains through into this weekend. Enjoy that if you can. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.